What is going on, you martards? It's your boy A-Track Brown. The hustle is back. It has been a minute since, me and Q have been together to talk, the world of wrestling and even some shit outside of wrestling. All right. But of course, you already know me, A-Track Brown. And with me, as always, is my broadcast brother, my bromosexual, my hetero life mate, the most objective, the most scholarly, the most effervescent, see, let me start that again because you see, it's been so long since we've done this that I couldn't even fucking remember my man's taglines. All right, so yeah. Of course, it always comes down to the good greenery that makes me fucking lose my memory. But let's just start this shit all over again because, of course, like I said, with me is the most magnanimous, the most effervescent, the most objective, the most scholarly, and he's the king of the motherfucking hoopla and the most stupendous, and not to mention the most glorious man in the IWC, YWC, PWC punditry, the professor, Chambella de la Cruz. Let them know what's going on in that world of fandom, brother, of hustle fandom, which, by the way, is the new name of the PWHustle Facebook group, which, by the way, on the week gets threatened of getting deleted every fucking week, all right? Every week, all right? We changed the name, and it's now the Hustle Fandom. And it is called that so you guys can understand that it's not just about wrestling. It's about everything: music, politics, movies, science fiction, Marvel shows, DC shows, woke shows, non-woke shows, sexist shit, liberal shit, capitalism, socialism. All the isms are there. Racism, cementism, all the isms you
If
can
that
think
is an
of.
ism.
All wrapped up into one Facebook group full of fucking misfits that have been kicked out of other Facebook groups. That's what we are, all right? We are the misfits of Facebook groups. But right now, we're here to talk about some wrestling and a few things that, have the world concerned in other realms of sports. Chabelo de la Cruz, my brother, we had Crown Jewel, which you enjoyed. Why don't
Absolutely.
you tell the people about what it is about Sweet Saudi Money 4 that you enjoyed so much?
See, but one of those isms, I just love Saudi isms too.
And
I
just a
don't,
minute, as you say that, you can hear my chicken cooking in the background. So you can talk. I'm just going to
Mhm.
go check my chicken. All right, go ahead.
While the chicken is bubbling, it's churning and all that
Oh,
stuff,
yeah,
and he has
it
to
looks,
flip it over.
shit. Oh, yeah, it is. Hold on, Q, hold on. Let me show them
It's
something
looking
real
good.
quick. Let me show them something. Look, you see this shit? You see that shit? Ain't no white man know about some 11 herbs and spices. Slaves made that chicken. But go ahead, Q.
See, this is a great example of the hustle fandom. We put chicken in the show too. We show you how to properly cook chicken. We
Goddamn
chop we
right.
chop we teach you how to put the seasoning on the chicken to make it taste good. But neither here nor there. But anyway, I was asked by A-Track Brown about Crown Jewel, and I'm gonna say this right now. Crown Jewel is already better than AEW Full Gear. AEW Full Gear has even been on the air yet. That's how good it is because Crown Jewel has set the bar for AEW Full Gear. But again, that's a trolling joke from the professor. But Crown Jewel was great. Crown Jewel, it is what it is. It is Saudi blood money, whatever you want to call it. Triple H, Papa H has got to do his due diligence to put on a show for the prince. We could talk about who wasn't there because the Usman, Sami Zayn wasn't there because of political reasons. He's Syrian. He cannot be on that land. He would be shot and killed, and that's not a good thing. That's not an Us thing to do. We know that
It's not very
MVP.
oozy.
Yeah, it's not very.
The Saudi
You know,
royal family are not very oozy. That's all we need to know, all right?
yeah, we know that MVP is not allowed on Saudi Arabia soil because he's an atheist.
Wait a
So
minute. I just read that. It's funny that you say that. I just read that and I just commented on it. Now, from what I understand, they said he was a Muslim turned atheist. Now, from various Twitter exchanges me and MVP had in the past when I had my original Twitter, as far as I knew, he was still Muslim. I'm not judging. I'm not saying anything. From far as I know, he was still Muslim. Now, I do know he has a criminal record. Now, now from what I'm trying to get, just trying to understand, I'm not sure which one it is. Is it him being an atheist or is it the criminal record? Because again, last I checked, he was not an atheist. But that's just me. If I'm wrong, let me know. Somebody out there, let me know I'm wrong.
Well, I'm not going to say I know this fully, but if the Usos are allowed on Saudi Arabian soil and one of them has a criminal record.
But it's not, no. MVP was in prison. He was convicted.
I'm just saying we just don't know how we define criminal records in another country. So, they could judge it a little bit different. That's why I say I'm not 100% sure. But I think with the atheist part,
either way, it's still fucked up.
It is fucked up. But again, you just want to make sure that your WWE employees, are not, in harm's way. So it was a great idea. It was a nice idea to write MVP out of the story with Omos and Braun Strowman the way they did on SmackDown. But I'm just pointing out the obvious of people who were not there. Sami Zayn was.
So now it makes sense why they did what they did on SmackDown. I wasn't sure of why they did that. But go ahead.
So, we understand why certain people are not there. And of course, I want to say this. The Saudi Arabian people let it be known to the prince that it wasn't Usi to not allow Sami Zayn on their soil. They wanted Mr. Usman Sami Zayn, but neither here nor there. I just want to point out another thing, Track. What did you call this? Saudi Money 4?
Sweet Saudi Money 4. Is this the fourth show they did or the third one?
It could be the fourth show, whatever. But by the fourth show, I counted 2 female referees, and I counted like 4 or 5 or 6 female wrestlers. So, the progress, that the term progressive is going along. It's streaming along. It's chugging along right now, hustleites. WWE is not going to make Saudi Arabia full-on progressive. But at least they're going in a nice direction by allowing a lot of female athletes to be on that show, to allow female talent and referees on that show. So it is a step up, Track. You got to take some small wins here and there.
And for all of those AEW people out there who are sitting there trying to be all high and mighty, I don't know about Tony Khan, and I know Tony Khan is not his father. But Tony Khan's father has dealings in Saudi Arabia. So let's not act like that the Khan family is above the McMahon, all right, when it comes to doing business in Saudi Arabia. Now, it's funny because I always felt that a Pakistani wouldn't do business in Saudi Arabia. So maybe I got my regional conflicts mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
But,
and don't forget, Track. Jeff Jarrett is now in the AEW fold, and he does dealings with India and all that stuff. So there is oil money to be made, and Jeff Jarrett is a key component to getting that oil money. So I'm just saying right there, I'm not judging anybody.
That's true. There's some truth to that. But if I'm Tony Khan, I'm not doing that shit. I'm just not. If your father has his dealings, let us have his dealings. And before we continue this, I just want to say like we talk about the MVPs and Sami Zayn and the women doing the things in a slow progression, but here and there. I will never be able to justify these motherfuckers going over there when you got employees who can't go to that country without the risk of being killed. That shit. I can't. There's no excuse for that. I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't understand. Kyrie Irving right now is public enemy number 1. But the WWE is doing business with countries that will kill a couple of their employees.
Again, Track, I get where you're going with, but if we're going to talk about other things, Dennis Rodman go to North Korea and come back to the United States. I'm just giving you an example. So,
we're getting off track.
I'm just saying there's things that can happen. We're not talking about Brittany Griner because that's a different story. But again, progress is slow, but progress happens. So again, we might not be alive when the progress is complete. we'd be dead, or we'd be in our retirement homes, debating about AEW and WWE at that time. So PWHustle celebrates year 100 on YouTube or whatever social media platform. I don't even know if I want to even talk about that. But anyway, again, progress is slow, but let's say progress takes time, Hustleites. But again, I don't want to go off track. I just want to say one thing. The master, we have defined the master of the buckshot lariat, Hustleites.
Oh, God.
His name is Logan Paul. And if y'all blink your eyes, or you squint your eyes a little bit, and you turn your head to the left a little bit or to the right, you could swear you thought you saw Kenny Omega in the WWE ring. And you had a dream match between Kenny Omega and Roman Reigns. Because that's how good Logan Paul was at Crown Jewel. A match of insignificant meaning for a lot of people before the match. People had their mouths wide open. People had to say on their tweets, on their social media platforms. I'm not calling anybody out. I'm just saying I've seen the track. I've seen the receipts. People are like, Logan Paul did his thing. Listen. Everybody started their tweets or their social media with Logan Paul did his thing. He earned the respect of the community. So I'm going to say right now, Track, you could say it was mediocre. It was insignificant. Yes, I get you. The Saudi people loved him. We could say how WWE pipes in crowd chants, but I was watching that live, Hustle Lights. Come at me. But they were cheering for Logan Paul.
No, listen.
They were invested in Logan Paul.
I have made the statement that I thought the show overall was mediocre. I didn't think his performance was mediocre. Judging matches as I do, when he did the buckshot lariat, I said in the text, that wasn't really as clean as it should have been. And in certain threads, I said, he did that shit way too wild. He's going to blow out his fucking knee. He needs to be careful. What happened? Torn meniscus, torn ACL. Now, until I get any further evidence of when, I am guaranteeing you that either meniscus or that ACL tear happened on that buckshot lariat. I saw the way he did that. I saw the way he had his arms out like that. I saw the way he almost busted his ass. Not almost busted his ass. He didn't stumble. But when he came out, he was like,
the landing. The landing was hard. The landing
the landing was hard. And that was when I said, whoa, nigga, you need to chill. Not saying that he shouldn't have did the move. Listen, first of all, he did that shit 10 times better than CM Punk, which tells you a lot. All right? He did it better than CM Punk. But I noticed it. And then when he got hurt, I said to the dude in the thread, I said, look what happened. I said, I told you. Now, he later on had to say, yeah, you're right. And that's what that's what I try to tell people when I watch these matches and I analyze them the way I do. Now, I didn't say that it wasn't good. It was good. I was just saying, by what I saw, I said to myself, he needs to be careful if he plans on doing that in the future. And if he got hurt as a result of that, then the fact remains, be careful with how you do shit in the future.
There's two spots that could have been questionable for the torn meniscus.
I thought the table spot was good, but I was like, yo, next time, bro.
That's what I'm gonna say. The table
stop
spot.
With the camera shit because you didn't clear that. You almost paralyzed Roman.
Yeah, I thought the table spot could have been a little bit scary for the meniscus or the ACL. But again, I'm gonna say this too, Trek. I'm not saying I'm 100% right, but you gotta wait a couple of days within a week's time to have that diagnosis. You're not gonna be told you have
You're right.
Or torn MCL on the day. He's got to go to the doctor within a couple of days, Hustleites, and then when it's confirmed, it is. But it's not that same day. You can never get that kind of diagnosis on the same day. He probably knows his body very well, Track, and I'm not denying that. So he probably says, I think I sprained my ACL, my MCLs. So he knew something is wrong with his legs. But you got to admit, even after he did it, you might have said, okay, he landed wrong. He might have landed hard on his legs, but he didn't show it. He didn't sell it.
He kept on going. He gets all the fucking props in the world for that. First of all, I had fucked up my meniscus. They couldn't even repair it. I'm bone on bone. So my athletic career is over. All right? And this happened right before I was supposed to have my match with John Cena. And so it really pissed me off that I'm not able to fucking work the way I want to work.
So
So
that's the excuse he's using.
hey, I got the documents, all right, y'all. you seen it, all right. So, but nah, I gave him mad props for finishing that match. I gave him props for the match. I enjoyed the match. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I didn't see all of that shit they had to throw in that match. They didn't have to throw in all of that shit with the Paul brothers and his friends and who whatnot to make the match good, but they did. That's fine. We won't judge that. So you saw something building between the Usos and the Paul brothers. I know for a fact that they want to set up a match, but now that he's hurt, that's going to probably be put on hold. Another thing that might be put on hold is the Usos title runs. Now, from what I understand, Jay has a messed up wrist, but Jimmy has his shoulder might be more fucked up than Jimmy's wrist. Of course, they have to go to the doctors when they get back. But that if that's the case, that really fucks shit up. And the only thing I can say is this: if they don't have to take away the tag team titles from them, the way they can save this is if Jay could still go. If it's a broken wrist, that's fine. At least as far as I know. I mean, put a cast on him, have him still go out there. But if
Did you notice? Did you notice even in that match, Jimmy kind of carried that match, so they protected Jay and his injuries because he would the only one spot, and Jay did this on his own, and I don't know why they did. You know how they do that diagonal splash?
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't have done that if his wrist is messed up. He should
I
have just.
saw that.
But Jimmy was taking most of the match. He did about 75% of the work, and I said, okay, he's trying to protect Jay, and whatever the case may be, maybe he's gonna work hurt until Survivor Series, and then you can write him out, maybe rest it, and maybe track, like you said, they'll have to find a way to get the titles off of them. Again,
They don't have to. If one of them is can't go, Solo Seeker.
But again, we've had this. Well, I don't know. We've had this debate, but you've seen this debate about, Roman has both belts and the Usos have both belts. It's kind of making it hurts the product of WWE because you got Raw and SmackDown. It takes away from their tag team divisions, all that stuff. So now you have the injury bug here. This is the kind of the curse. And now you have this moment where you can split the titles up. You can make the tournament and do all that stuff. Triple H can be like, "Oh God, I have the Raw."
Oh no, not another tournament now. We can't have that.
WWE don't do tournaments. Not like AEW. That's 7 on AEW.
Well, they just did a women's tag team title tournament. So if they do a men's tag team title tournament, that's just too much.
Again, people can bitch just to bitch, but anyway, neither here nor there. But you're right, Track. So we'll see what happens with the Usos. Hopefully, he could work hurt until Survivor Series, and then we'll decide after that.
All I'm saying is, if the injury isn't that serious, right? If it's not that serious, if only one of them are able to go, what I'm saying is, give the title to Solo Seeker. Have him fill whatever spot they need to fill. None of them can't go. If one of them can't go, if neither one of them can go, then yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Use the Freebird rule.
Exactly.
And you can actually add Sami Zayn to the mix and create heat for Jey Uso, saying, "Why are you going to put Sami and give him my belt?" And you can create
that's a fucking great idea. The tribal chief could say, it would have to be Jay to be the real fucked up person, but it still works in Jay's favor. If Jay's not the fucked up person, having Jay and Sami is the perfect fucking because Jay can't stand Sami. So if you have Jay and Sami as tag team champions defending it together and they lose, that's what starts the match at WrestleMania between Jay and Sami, if that's the route they want to go. So yeah, that's a fantastic fucking idea. Roman can say, I'm gonna make the honorary Uso, the honorary tag team champion, and you defend it with him, and y'all better not lose it. And if they lose it, you can make this whole thing where it seems like Roman is against Jay, and the swerve happens when he turns on Sami. And like, yo, at the end of the day, this is your fault. You are not blood, blah, 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 blah. I don't know how that works out with The Rock, but whatever. But the idea you just gave is a fucking fantastic idea. Now,
and then with that, you can infuse Kevin Owens because he's been waiting in the wings to help.
Where the hell has he been?
Because of the popularity of the Sammy Uso, they had to prolong this, and now they had to put Kevin Owens in the back burner a little bit. That plan has been shelved a little bit.
All right, I understand that then, because I'm like, where the fuck has Kevin Owens been? Another match that I did enjoy. There's 3 matches I enjoyed, which was the main event. It was Bayley versus Bianca. I thought that was a really good last woman stand. It was silly as fuck, but it was entertaining, and they did their job. The other match I enjoyed was, of course, Brock Lesnar versus Bobby Lashley. Now, this match to me was better than the first. I understood what they did at the end, but it didn't really come off. I think the way they was hoping that it did, because I was trying to say Bobby's shoulders were not down, and when you go back and look, they weren't. They weren't. But that's not what they played off of. They played off of the fact that, what's I call it, the classic
the hurt lock,
Roddy Piper spot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
With the putting your ropes up against the turnbuckle and everything like that. And so the match ended that way. Bobby Lashley put him in a hurt lock again after the fucking match was over, which means what? We're getting another fucking match. And I have to say, I have no problems with that. Will it be at Survivor Series, Royal Rumble? Will they stretch this out until Mania? I'm hoping they kind of stretch this out till Mania. I don't know how long that's going to take. I mean, I know how long it's going to take, but I hope they stretch it out. I don't know how you do that, but I hope they do. And what I hope happens is, if they do this at Mania or at Survivor Series, can we please get a proper fucking build? The first build was half-assed. They gave us a vignette. That was cool. They didn't give us the face-to-face promo between MVP and Paul Lee, and you could say that was because Paul Lee was going to turn, so it would have made no sense. Fine. And there's no MVP and Paul Lee now this time around. You have to give me a storyline that gets me. I mean, these two together already gets me hyped. But you got to give a storyline about them being MMA. You got to give them a storyline about the fact that they're 1-1 and whatever. And what happens is, at Mania or whenever you have this match, Bobby Lashley has to go over. And it's not because Bobby Lashley is black. I'm not for the culture on this. I am a Brock Lesnar fan before I'm a Bobby Lashley fan. All right, as far as in-ring work is concerned. But I'm talking about the fact that I don't want to see Brock Lesnar beat Bobby Lashley just to disappear again for how many months? I don't like when Brock wins and goes away. So if he's going to go away, which he's most likely going to do, then just have Brock put Bobby Lashley over, and at the end of the match, have these two shake hands. Give us a real feel-good sportsman-like moment here. And I know for a fact that Cowboy Brock probably wants to call Bobby Lashley boy, but for political reasons, he can't do it. All right? Because I was expecting him to say that the whole time. I'm going to hurt you, boy, because, it's cowboy talk. Nothing to do with race. That, that's how Southern cowboys talk to each other. Not just black people, but you can't be calling a black guy a boy. It just doesn't come off right. But I know Brock Lesnar wants to probably say that. But these two in the last match, I just want to see a really good competitive match. I want to see a match that starts off with these niggas suplexing each other. Then it turns into the amateur style because they both have that. Then it turns into the fucking MMA. Then it turns into a brawl, which, with the climax at the end, wherever it is. I just want these two to have the competitive match. I don't want Brock Lesnar to be on some lazy shit. All right? Now, you talked about how...
This is the factor track. You have to think about the way that, Bobby Lashley, the almighty Bobby Lashley, kind of went heelish after the match because, of course, his shoulders were down. So now people are kind of speculating. I'm not saying I agree with it, but it could add what you're talking about with the storyline, maybe carrying itself to WrestleMania. Could you bring back the hurt business? So this way, Brock Lesnar has to get to Bobby Lashley with variables like Shelton Benjamin, Cedric Alexander, and maybe, just maybe, you want to add Omos to the fold with MVP, just to then you get to Bobby Lashley by WrestleMania time. But then
Well,
you need
whatever.
Brock to have a
Listen,
group
bro.
too.
If you're just trying to think of any way to get MVP with Bobby Lashley, I'm all for it. I don't give a fuck how they do it as long as it gets done. You know, I would like to see Heyman back with Paul with Brock, but there's no way they're gonna do that. But there's various ways to get MVP with Bobby again. And you're right. You know, going into this match, Bobby was playing the face and Brock was playing the heel. But going into Saudi Arabia, it's obvious they were Team Brock. Be honest with you, I think overall, everybody, no matter who it is, people are going to be Team Brock. You know, they're always going to cheer for Brock more than, especially Cowboy Brock is just fucking cool and he's over as fuck. So I don't see him unless he goes out and destroys Johnny Gargano or Rey Mysterio or I can't even say Sami Zayn. You know, he'd have to destroy the most beloved guy who's over right now, which is Sami Zayn, and that doesn't even make any fucking sense.
Wait,
So
who?
I don't see how they even make Brock a heel here.
Oh, okay. I was just asking who you just talking about, Bobby or Brock, to do that
I'm
that
talking about
move.
Brock. Like, how do you turn this man into somebody that the crowd hates? Have him beat the shit out of commentators? No, because they're gonna cheer that. Have him. The only thing he can do is beat up women. That's the only thing I can see him doing. Come out and beat the shit out of a woman, and then people will boo him. But never hear it. That's neither here or there. But overall,
No, they'll
you
cheer
know,
there. They'll cheer there because they'll say that woman is a woke feminist. So hooray for beating up a woke feminist.
it's obvious he's gonna have to take out Alexa Bliss. It's the only person. That's the only person I can know that when the crowd will probably turn on Brock, but they'll cheer that too because Brock. I think people are afraid to boo that motherfucker. You know?
Track. Why don't we do this for comic? Well, you know what the problem is. Like you said, if MVP and Paulie are not there for the talking point, I'm not saying that Bobby and Brock can talk. It's hard for me to say that they can talk me
No,
into.
Brock can definitely talk when he wants.
No, you
Bobby,
can't.
on the other hand, is a completely
Yeah,
different story.
So what do you do with Bobby? Do you like cowboy Bobby? Do you put a little cowboy hat on Bobby and kind of like put a little more comedy into Bobby to make it interesting for him?
The only thing I can say to do with Bobby are pre-recorded promos, and you don't fucking set them shits until he gets it right. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. Or just have these two just always beat the shit out of each other every week, from the parking lot to have them interrupt matches and shit. Have fucking Bobby come out and just suplex the shit out of two jobbers. Same thing with Brock. I don't know, but it has to be, the build has to be better than the two that we got the last time. That's all I'm saying. And to close the book on Sweet Saudi Money, a phrase that Solomon came up with. It's not mine. That is not mine. That is Jason's. I will say, like I said, I thought it was mediocre. It came off as a souped up Raw. I enjoyed 3 matches. I gave it a 6 out of 10. What say you?
Jesus, Logan Paul made me go 9 on this one.
I can see that. I can see the main event being so good that you said fuck everything else. I'm going with this, and that's fine. That's good. So that was what we feel about Crown Jewel. It's been a while since we talked about this. Last time we spoke about AEW, we was talking about the whole FTR thing and Andrade and Sammy Guevara getting into it. Now, CM Punk has officially, well, not officially yet. We don't know really what's going on, but the rumors are his contract is being negotiated to be bought out, and he's being voted out. Apparently, from his camp, when the Elite kicked down the door, they kicked Larry in the face to the point where Larry had to get his teeth removed. If that was true, why haven't we seen any records from it? This is a lot of shit that Dave Chappelle, that Dave. Yeah, Dave Chappelle was reporting on this on the Wrestling Observer. Y'all didn't know that Dave Chappelle had his own fucking wrestling show? Nah. Meltzer reported this, and I gotta tell you, after the whole Bucks thing with giving more to Meltzer information about CM Punk that wasn't even true, I don't even know if I can trust Meltzer. But if this is true, I can understand CM Punk having issues. If it's not true, then it all goes down to the fact that CM Punk talked his shit. Now, you know what? Let's talk about that. Now, a lot of people say that CM Punk was in the wrong for what he did at the media scrum, with his boss sitting right next to him and whatnot. A lot of people speculate, he knew he got hurt in the match. He said, fuck it, I'm done, so I'm just going to go off. That actually makes a lot of sense. That theory makes a hell of a lot of sense. Now, my opinion on it goes down like this. If the Bucks were out there telling Dave Meltzer some false info about how he had Colt Cabana sent back to the sidelines or sent to ROH, if they were saying that, then I would be pissed off too. Why would they do that? And then there's the whole shit with Hangman Adam Page going off script and doing what he did. So CM Punk coming in has done nothing. He's got people saying shit about him that he had no control over. He didn't tell Tony Khan to get rid of Colt Cabana. And quite frankly, if I sign CM Punk and I know these two have beef, who the fuck am I gonna cater to? We spoke about this before. I'm not catering to some fucking Colt Cabana. Fuck him. Now, I'm not a CM Punk fan like that. You guys know this. But let's be real. I'm going to fucking cater to Colt Cabana over CM Punk? No. Then you have Hangman Page saying what he says. So as far as I'm concerned, CM Punk going off and saying what he said, I ain't mad at him. You knew for a fact that this, you know what? It's like bringing me on your show. It's like you seen all the fucking reactions I did. You seen all the hustle shows I did. And you somebody who brings me on your show, and I start saying some wild shit, and you get pissed off. Everybody's like, yo, nigga, you brought A-Track Brown on your show. You don't know who the fuck he is? Like, you should already know what you was dealing with. You should already know what CM Punk was. I would have went back to the fucking Bucks like, what the fuck are you doing? You know what? You motherfuckers are no longer EVPs. That's it. You want to fucking go to WWE? Go right ahead. But you're no longer EVPs. I don't know what the fuck that was about. Why would you say that shit about this guy? Second, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm not getting rid of CM Punk. I'm turning this whole thing into an angle. I'm going to have CM Punk lose to Omega. Now, granted, you can't completely job him out because all he'll do is just walk out. So you pace yourself. You give him something here and there, and he takes something away. Give him a little something here and there, you take something away. But overall, CM Punk's, I would sit him down and be like, listen, man, you're going to have to be the ultimate heel here, and I'm going to put you over sometimes, but most of the time, I'm going to need you to enhance the talent. Is that something that you can see yourself doing? And if he says no, then we can't do nothing else. But I definitely wouldn't get rid of him. I would use that motherfucker to my best devices. Not to say that them getting rid of him is a bad idea. I can see why they have to. All of this shit is crazy. He should have, people say he could have handled himself in a professional manner. You're right. But again, it's like I feel that people are right and I feel like people are wrong. Because again, I can't blame him for what he did if this is true. Because that's some fucked up shit. I came here to fucking help y'all and you doing all of this shit to me and I lose my mind. So, but yeah. If they getting rid of him, I get it. It just wouldn't be something I would do. But I understand it. And if in the end he's gone, then he's gone. And to be honest with you, ever since this shit has happened, the ratings have been up. The shows have been going
up. It's been normal. It's not.
They haven't been below 900,000 since this happened.
It's been normal. I think people who thought that Punk was going to be,
they were only on the 900,000 once. I should say. I'm sorry. Right. Go ahead.
No, but it's been in the range where AEW is supposed to be with or without CM Punk. Yeah, you're right. I'm not even disputing that. I think the thing in the right and wrong sense is I'm going to say this. You got video evidence of how unprofessional the Elite was. And I don't think people even want to talk about this. But do you remember that trios match when they won it? Do you remember what Kenny Omega said on the stage?
He said, I forgot what he said. He did say something.
Now follow this. Said it right there. He actually, burned CM Punk's main event. He burned every other match after that. He just said, now follow this. The second match, that's how unprofessional the EVPs were. If no one wants to talk, see, that's one thing no one wants to talk about, Track. The unprofessionalism of the Elite on TV, that you did that. Why would you say follow this after the second match of a pay-per-view? Because you don't care about the other match. You want me to stop watching the match? You want me to stop watching the pay-per-view because you already did everything?
That was definitely a shot to somebody.
It
That
is
was definitely a shot to somebody.
So now we can put two and two together where who that shot was to. It was to CM Punk and John Moxley's match. But that's at the end of the show track. So there's unprofessional exhibit A. Unprofessional exhibit B is what you said about Adam Page and shooting at CM Punk's workers' rights comments and whatever. We don't have to delve into all this stuff, but there's evidence of showing everything that they're working everything in their power against CM Punk. The man who sold out let's put it out there. He sold out the United Center with the rumor that he was going to be there for the first dance. He accentuated.
He's made money for the company. That's not a lie. That's 100% fact. He made money for this company.
He made money for this company, but the problem is that Tony Khan handled this like a mark. He didn't handle it like a boss. He didn't put the reins down on the EVPs, and he didn't put the reins down on CM Punk. That's why everybody is wrong in this situation. But you're right, Track. If he is a boss and not a mark, he could have made this an angle, and we could have carried this to Double or Revolution or Double or Nothing, whatever the case may be, Track. So you could have carried this out. So, someone had to pay the price for it. CM Punk paid the price. So if they're gonna buy him out, so be it. He's gonna get millions of dollars while with a busted shoulder. And if CM Punk is vindictive, which I think he is, he might do a one-off show for WWE just to spite. Even for his morals and ethics, he'll take that WWE blood money. He'll find a way to stick it to Tony Khan if he is that.
Never said it was out of the realm of him returning to the WWE. Now, do they want him is another story.
Well, Triple H wants him because it's best for business. But I'll say this, and this is a professor's perspective, because remember, Track, what I called him years ago on the original channel? I call him PMS Bitch Boy. But I want to say this.
Yeah, we should have brought that back. PMS Bitch Boy.
But I'll say this, Punky, even though I'm on your side for this, you wasn't on the side for fans. So send this clip for CM Punk because he's blocked me on Twitter. So again, let me remind people about this. In the 7 years CM Punk was out of WWE, out of wrestling, never once wanted to appear in Ring of Honor when Ring of Honor could have used him. Never once appeared on Impact Wrestling, Track's favorite show. Never once wanted to even go to Japan and fight Tanahashi and Okada when they were, building up their reputation. Oh, could have wrestled Kingdom in 2016, 2017, Track. You would have been going crazy for Punk against Okada, Tanahashi, or even Kenta.
That's the only match I wanted to see.
That's it. I'm just saying, you've been denied what Punk could have done if he was a wrestling, fan himself. He didn't want to do that. He didn't want to do that for anybody. So he's a businessman. I can't fault him for being a businessman, but let's just keep it 100, Track. He had plenty of opportunity to do things for the love of wrestling, which he didn't.
Oh, listen, man, the love of wrestling and CM Punk don't even go together. That's just like oil and water. It's for the love of money, gotta get that money, man. Money, man. That's that. Listen, man, gotta get that money, man. Yeah, and so it's the way I see it. It was a failed experiment. Unfortunately, there was a lot of cool things I would like to see as far as the Forbidden Door is concerned. With Punk, that's really where my heart was with the whole thing. I could care less about everybody in AEW. My whole thing was who he's gonna face in the Forbidden Door. When are we gonna get that Kenta Punk match? And now that's not gonna fucking happen because motherfuckers don't know how to fucking act. And I will say this to the fans who did at the time when all of this shit was going on. We're like, oh, it's over, it's over. Like, come on, do y'all really expect a fucking company not to have locker room fights, especially when they're like 3 years in its infancy? I'm glad it happened. It should have happened because I hope Tony Khan, that fucking fanboy geek, learned his fucking lesson about how you can't be a boss and somebody's friend. You can't do that. You either a boss or you're not. Period. You want to have to. You can't try to be Mr. Cool guy with everyone. It's not going to work out that way. They got Jeff Jarrett now, and now we're seeing these house shows come up. If I'm not mistaken, right? Is a house show coming up?
I don't know if it's going to come up because that's still debatable, but I think Jeff Jarrett is going to be used for his.
What was that thing that JoJo put on our page? JoJo put something and he talked about how this was an effect of Jeff Jarrett. I thought it was a house show. I didn't read the whole post. That was my fault. I should have actually.
No, I posted that. I said that.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, I think because of what Jeff Jarrett can bring is a little bit of stability in the back. Of course, he could probably do the AEW base brawl kind of things. And I think he's going to help out, not expansion track, but, that Mid-South area that Jeff Jarrett is used to with, those the Kentucky, the Tennessee areas. You could do those Little League baseball fields. But I say this. AEW needs house shows for one particular reason. We talked about this before we went on our little hiatus.
Money is the main reason.
Well, can it make money? It depends on what they try to do. But I'm thinking it's more about chemistry because, again, you need these wrestlers need chemistry with each other. You can't just wrestle nilly-willy in another promotion with somebody else that you're not going to have. It doesn't have any factors for AEW. You got to have your AEW wrestlers, contracted wrestlers, hustleites, fight each other, build a rapport, build some chemistry, and who knows, you can probably build some angles for Dynamite and Rampage that is so desperately needed. We've talked about, the history of house shows track. You could do a title change. That AEW All Atlantic Championship could change at a house show. Oh, you missed it. You should have been at an AEW house show. Tag Team Champion, the Acclaim could have been attacked at a house show. Oh, wow. We missed it. It was at a house.
Right now, for all of you who are not realizing, is dropping fucking knowledge. So what I suggest you do is just fucking listen to the man, right? This is the
That's what I'm just talking about. Again, because of Tony Khan being this is the positives of being a Mark fanboy. Use the house show formula to your advantage. You got knowledgeable wrestling fans who will follow you on Twitter, follow you on Busted Open Radio.
Knowledgeable or knowledgeable?
Knowledgeable.
I'm sorry, I couldn't let that one go. I heard that. I was like, what?
Knowledgeable.
The G is silent.
But what I'm saying, you got knowledgeable wrestling fans who will follow AEW news on Twitter and social media and the YouTubes. You got the house shows. It could be a good experiment track. You never know. But as long as it builds rapport and chemistry with the AEW contracted wrestlers, I think that's a positive.
And that's good. And let me tell you, the Jeff Jarrett was a fucking surprise. It was. Wasn't a surprise I was expecting, but that shit definitely was a surprise. And I think we have to acknowledge Jeff Jarrett. This fucking guy always lands on his feet. I want y'all to understand something, okay? I want y'all to understand this. WCW, WWF, WWE, NWA, WCW again, TNA Impact, New Japan, AAA, WWE again, and now AEW. This fucking guy is always going.
Global Force.
Global, yeah. Gold bars and everything. This guy just seems to always land on his feet. He always finds work. So he may have never drawn money with all the guitars he busted over people's heads. But this nigga always makes money. No matter what. No matter what. This man will always make money. And I predict, other than making money, he's always in shape. So props to him for that. So I predict 3 years from now, Jeff Jarrett will have another new promotion. Be it Global Force or Gold Bar Wrestling, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He will have something else up his sleeve. This man does not die in a figure of speech sense. He just fucking always comes back. No matter who it is, they always give him work. No matter what. Now, hopefully, his position in AEW will be a good one. I don't want to see this nigga on television every fucking week. So if you want to have this feud with him and Sting and this, that, and Darby Allin and this guy from NXT who showed up, that's fine. I have no issues with that, especially if it's good. All right? And if he works out in the locker room aspect, and he becomes one of those leaders that people can respect, and he gets, the young talent to understand shit and the way things go down, that's also a positive. So all props to Jeff Jarrett for always finding work. And
do you want to talk about what he's done this year alone? He's been on GCW on that pay-per-view. He's been on WWE as a referee for the Uso tag team match. He did Flair's last match, the main event, him and Jay Lethal against Flair and Andrade. And now he's going to have another program with was it Jeff Jarrett, Lethal against Darby, and maybe Sting for Full Gear, or maybe Winter is Coming. So he's had a good 2022. But
for real, it's I like this. From what I understand, he doesn't have this big reputation of being liked by a lot of people, but the man keeps finding work by these people who supposedly don't like him, or people who don't get along with him or whatever, or who had rough business dealings with him, with the exception of Tony Khan. This is his first time, and let's see if he burns Tony Khan. I'm expecting this motherfucker to bring in Dixie Carter next. To be honest with you,
that'll work too. You got to do it.
Here's my prediction, and this is we're gonna segue into the next topic with this. This man is done with the WWE, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vince McMahon is done with the WWE. I would not be surprised if, out of spite towards Triple H and Stephanie, we get Vince McMahon on AEW. I'm telling you this right now. This is a bold prediction. 3 years. Within 3 years, we're going to see Vince McMahon on AEW. Watch.
Unless he sells all his stocks from WWE, we won't see that. But it's a nice prediction.
That nigga is going to be on AEW, bro. He's done with the WWE. He's not contractually obligated not to be on AEW. There's nothing that stops him from being there except for saying, oh, yeah, let's make this deal. If that shit was to draw so much money for Vince, he would do it. I'm telling you, bro. Bold, wild, weed-induced prediction, okay?
I can trump that. I can trump that. I can trump it.
Go ahead.
You said 3 years, right? In 3 years?
3 years.
I'll give
I'm giving him as long as he dies. Okay. As long as he doesn't die. Because I'm giving him 3 years to live. But go ahead.
He's trying to cheat death, so I'm going to give you that 3-year window, too. In 3 years, Hustleites, Vince McMahon will sell his WWE shares, and then he will team with Jeff Jarrett to start. There you go.
That's another bold 3-year prediction. Unlike mine, though, I have an excuse. I've been smoking this shit all day. I don't know what's going on with Q. But these are our bold predictions, all right? These are bold predictions for the end year of 2022 going into 2023 into 2026. All right? This is that's what we predict in the next 3 years. You heard it here first. So, Vince McMahon done with the WWE after the WWE spent $19 million
give or take
this investigation, give or take, and now he's done. So I guess the next stop is the WWE Hall of Fame? Is that where we'll probably see him on TV, or if before the 3 years is up he dies and we get a locker room 10-bell salute, or it's one of the two. That's when we're going to see this man next on WWE television.
Either way, he'll get one or the other.
All right, Hall of Fame. Does he get in this year or next year in Philadelphia?
I try to let it calm down with the investigation. I do it the year after, not the one for Philadelphia, the one after that.
Because Philly is what, WrestleMania 40?
Yeah.
And I picked 40 because that's the and that's like the anniversary.
Yeah. No. I'm mistaken. I'm thinking I got confused. SoFi is this coming WrestleMania. Philadelphia is the other one. Yeah, you're right. It should be Philly.
It should be Philly that he
Yeah,
should headline the Hall of Fame.
because that's like the anniversary, a 40-year anniversary of WrestleMania, you could say, I guess.
That would make more
Um,
sense. Yeah,
yeah,
give it a
and
good
it's
number.
crazy because every 10 years from WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 10, WrestleMania 20, was it WrestleMania 30? Every 10 or 11 years, they're usually in the tri-state area. When they start doing stadium shows, they went to New Jersey. So this
Yeah.
is the first year that WrestleMania 40 will be the first time they're not in the tri-state area like that.
Mhm.
But it's still close enough. So if we can get tickets, definitely down to go to Philly. It's a 3-hour drive, 2.5 hours really. Depending on how fast a nigga is driving. Not me, I don't drive, but I'm sure Big Ray will. He'll take the wheel. Me, you, Lou, and Big Ray. Me, you,
Nah,
Billy
I'll,
Ray.
I'll meet you. I'm
Will
taking the train. I'm taking the train.
why? Me, Big Ray, and Billy Ray
Too
will,
many
will
people.
probably
No, no, too many
be in
people.
the car.
Oh, I can't do that shit. I ain't
Well,
making it.
either way, either way. But yeah. So, he's done, and you can officially just say, thank God this man is fucking gone. We said this before, but now it's official. We can officially say it again. Thank God Vince McMahon is gone. The man lost it a long fucking time ago. And speaking of gone, Sasha Banks has been gone from the WWE for quite a while now. Technically, from what I understand, she's still under contract. On the Hustle fandom page that was previously the PWHustle, our good friend and AEW savant, JoJo Smith, posted, or was that you? You posted that, right?
I posted the picture of Sasha
Posted the
Banks
picture of Sasha Banks.
training with Hoovy Juice.
She was training, and the juice has come back to training. She was training with Juventud. A good friend and AEW savant JoJo Smith let us know that she has been training with AEW talent. Is that a precursor, sir?
It could be a precursor, but of course, Sasha. Remember when Sasha had her kind of like mental break, you could say? She went
Yes.
to Japan and was training with
Yes.
Japanese like stardom women or something like that. So
Exactly.
that could have started a speculation that she wanted to transfer, take her talents to stardom and do that shit too. So it could be something where she could go to AEW. Could she infuse some interest into the AEW women's roster? Hell yeah, she can. She's the legit boss. But here's the problem, and I don't want to sound like a troll here, but you know what? I'm interested in and I got to use Paige as an example. I'm interested in WWE Paige. Maybe I'm kind of fixated with the name. I'm spoiled with it, but I'm not fixated or invested with Soraya. And that's her real name. That's her government name or whatever, or that's the name she used in the UK wrestling scene. I'm just not interested in Soraya. Just doesn't hit me. Mercedes is her name. I get it, Track. Mercedes. I'm just not interested in Mercedes. It doesn't roll off the tongue. Legit boss Sasha Banks rolls off the tongue for me, not Mercedes Fernando. I just gotta get used to this.
If she's out of WWE, wherever she goes, I'm not disagreeing with you. The name, her using her real name. Listen, she could use Mercedes for all I care, but the last name has to be something that's catchy. Sasha Banks is a hard name to replace because it is a cool name. It's like Bianca Belair. It fits her, Um, I like Bailey fits her too. But if Bailey went somewhere else and changed her name to something else, I would be okay with that. Oscar, same question. But but Sasha Banks is one of those. It's like Paige. It's a hard name to try to forget. And if you don't come out with something that's a banger, it's not going to be something that people are going to get used to, and it could cause harm to
And
your
don't get me
stock.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. I want to see like Sasha or Mercedes in AEW against Thunder Rosa or something like that, or Jamie Hayter. I like to see that.
And I'm gonna say this, and it's not coming. And I know people listen. My hate or my frustrations that were with the WWE came from Vince being in control. Vince is gone, so I'm optimistic. With Triple H at the helm, I've been impressed here and there. I still find a lot of the shows to be kind of boring. Johnny Gargano should not be getting the TV time that this motherfucker has been getting. That nigga, and let me tell you, I like Gargano, but this fucking main roster Gargano, I think I get what you're saying, Q. It just doesn't. What's the word you like to use?
Resonate.
Yeah. It's different from NXT here to the big stage. I don't know. It's not hitting off. Maybe it's because he's in the feud with the Miz, or he's involved with the Miz, and it's not coming off well. And that's not no hate on the Miz, because everybody knows I like the Miz and I like who he works with a lot of the time. But this shit has been boring. Dexter Lumis has been boring. And I know these are things that Triple H is trying to come up with. So I'm being patient, even though I'm not a big Triple H fan. As a Triple H booker, I've been a fan, but that's been by default because he hasn't really done anything that's really too original. He brought indie stars to the big stage. That's it. And now you got these indie stars, and you some of what you have left, you bring them to the big stage, and you do what you're doing. So far, giving you
it's still a balanced track. You have to remember this.
You're right. This is why I'm giving him a pass. I
understand the where your frustration is, but again, I think for the IWC, Triple H has this has a problem, not a problem, but it's a quandary to me, is that he has to balance the NXT banger match mentality. You can have, of course, Gargano can have.
You notice what he's doing, right? You see what he's doing with the fucking 10-minute matches.
Right.
That's some AEW formula shit right now.
Right. You have to balance the banger match, but then you still got to be entertaining. And you have to balance that for a 3-hour show, which is difficult. But a 2-hour SmackDown is entertaining, and you can have the banger match. So it's easier for the 2 hours. It's harder for the 3 hours track. So I get where you're going with the frustration. Gargano, again, I think he's trying to get his feel of the entertainment value, because some people said he's underrated in the comedy aspect. He's underrated with what he did in NXT, because a lot of people were amused with what he did as a heel with the way. I don't know if you saw the NXT stuff. So he did the shit.
I saw.
It was
50-50 on it. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't bad, but it wasn't, it wasn't all that either. Bottom line, it wasn't bad. That's the best thing I could say. Go ahead.
No, but I'm just saying, but that he's trying to get that character on the main roster. I think it's just going to be a slow burn until, if he turns heel, then we'll see the full potential of a Johnny Gargano main roster entertainment value that he has. So there is something there. Just be patient, track. I
also find this Bray Wyatt shit to be boring as fuck. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying the story doesn't make sense. The story that what it seems he's doing, right? Struggling with himself, like the inner torment, and the Uncle Fetus or Fester. What the fuck? What's the name?
Uncle Howdy.
Uncle Howdy. There you go. Uncle Howdy. It's not hitting with me. Again, and this is an example that I'm giving. A lot of times I try to explain to people a storyline could make sense. It doesn't mean that it's good. The storyline makes perfect sense. It's going off the reality of the situations of what this man has been through. I get that. It doesn't mean that it's entertaining me. It's resonating with me, but it's not entertaining me. I've watched this shit for the past 3 weeks, and even at Crown Jewel, and I was like, just like this.
But it's better than if Malachi Black and the House of Black come back and then immediately they just do a promo and then they get a match with Fuego del Sol.
That's the problem. This is the reverse. It's almost in reverse, where we get cool promos from the House of Black, but they're not really doing anything. And it's like, it's cool to have Bray Wyatt back, but his promos aren't doing anything.
Yeah, it's a reversal of fortune. I mean, House of Black will do a promo and then probably have a match that won't mean nothing and then be on Dark Elevation. And then Bray Wyatt is giving you the intrigue. He might be wrestling with his inner demons. It doesn't have to. Do we want to see Bray Wyatt against Madcap Moss immediately? No, it would make no sense. It would hurt Madcap Moss. So this is the entertainment factor that works for Triple H to use the Bray Wyatt character. You actually are holding him for a big moment. Like, when is he going to wrestle? Now the intrigue is, do you save him for Royal Rumble? How long can you stretch this? He's got to wrestle. So when and where is the thing that's intriguing me. I don't care.
That's the only thing that has my curiosity. Who's he gonna feud with?
Yeah, is he gonna target somebody, or is somebody gonna target him with? Now is Uncle Howdy, and people say Uncle Howdy's Bo Dallas. So how are you gonna incorporate Uncle Howdy coming in and attacking Bray Wyatt with the mask on? So again, there's intriguing things. So you don't, again, like I said, with the AEW part, House of Black can cut a great promo, but then if you're gonna fight Fuego del Sol or Serpentico like in the first 2 weeks, you already fucked them up. I'm sorry.
I mean, no, it's obvious you have these guys cutting the promos that they cut, being a House of Black. That means they come in and they start feuding with somebody. I don't know who the fuck I can say that's high on the card right now. You can't have them feud with Moxley or MJF.
No, you do the Death Triangle of the Elite if you're going to keep them 3-on-3. But that's just me.
If you want to throw them in that feud, that's fine, but they have to come out on top. The Elite can't come out on top. You know? So, what I wanted to say about Sasha, and this is not somebody who just, it's not me being favor for AEW, but I want her to come to AEW only because, and if you're being fair-minded person, then you understand where I'm coming from when I say what I'm about to say. She's done everything she can in WWE. She's done everything. She's had classic matches with Charlotte, classic matches to some people with Bianca Belair. I didn't feel the WrestleMania match all too much, but a lot of people did, so I'll just say that for the sake of argument. She had classic matches with Bayley. She's done things where you can come out with a 5-set DVD with Sasha Banks for her WWE career. She should move on to AEW just to see what she could bring. If it don't work out within a year and a half, leave. That's it. Give it a year and a half. They have a year and a half to do something with you and build that division around her. Fuck all your talent that you have. You bring in Sasha Banks, she beats fucking
Britt Baker.
No.
Jamie Hayter. Thunder Rosa.
No.
Saraya.
Storm.
Oh, Tony Storm.
No. Storm.
I did. Tony Storm. That's
Black
right.
Storm. No, Black Storm.
What?
No. The big muscle bitch.
Oh, Jade.
Yes, Jade. I don't know why I couldn't say her name. Jade Cargill. She comes in, she beats Jade Cargill, okay? She's the one to break that streak. Honestly, bro, is there anybody in AEW on that female roster right now that you would have beat Jade Cargill and break her streak?
No.
If versus having the opportunity to have Sasha come in and break that streak.
That makes more sense.
Like if Saraya was ready to go right now, I wouldn't want her to break Jade Cargill's streak. No. You have her help you with Britt Baker. That's fine. Sasha is the level of talent to come in and break Jade Cargill's streak. You can have Jade win somewhere else down the line. I don't give a fuck what any AEW fanboy, fangirl, bitch boy, bitch girl has to say. You bring in Sasha, you bring in Mercedes, she beats Jade. I don't give a fuck if she's from the WWE. She's one of the true Bayley, Sasha, the Four Horsewomen are the few true WWE talents.
They're the evolution women that made a difference.
I'm talking about just the fact that they are homegrown WWE talent. So yes, Sasha Banks is a WWE chick. You bring her in, she beats Jade. She doesn't win the world title. She wins the TBS title. She makes the TBS title mean more than the world title. And that's fine. That doesn't mean you have to regulate the world title below that. It's just by default because she's Sasha Banks. But that's what you do with her. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I can see that. The only girl that can maybe beat Jade is Thunder Rosa when she comes back from injury. That's the only talent.
Yeah. And if Sasha is training in the same way she was before, like you said, when she wanted to take, that mind break away from wrestling and do everything. Because if I'm not mistaken, does she have a match scheduled in Japan not too soon? Is she supposed to be wrestling in Japan?
You have to ask JoJo on that.
Okay,
I've seen the.
I thought I saw
I thought it
something.
was a fan-made post. It was a fan-made post.
Okay, and that's probably what I saw. Then forget that. I thought I saw that. That's probably what I saw. So forget that. But if she's in line to come back, if she's coming back to WWE, that's fine. But I'm just saying, from looking at her career, from a through her career perspective, she has done all she can do in WWE. There's really Sasha. There's nothing left for you there. What matches are you gonna have? With who? Another match with Bianca? Another one with Bayley? Lose to Sasha again? I mean, lose to Charlotte again? Because I don't give a damn what anybody says. What's true and what's always will be true, especially now with Triple H being in charge. Charlotte is that number one girl, that number one lady, that number one woman. I use the term woman loosely, but she's the number one.
No, there's something left for her in WWE to beat
Sasha
Fabulous.
Will always be right here below Charlotte. Charlotte is in the mind of WWE. This is Charlotte. This is Sasha. Unfortunately, go ahead.
No, well, she could try to beat Moolah's record as the longest reigning WWE Women's Champion. She could.
It would be nice if she had a run that lasted more than a fucking week.
Yeah, that's one of the things. But if she wants to have more main event WrestleManias than Becky and Charlotte, it's one and one. So if she can have, for that, feather in her cap, she can have more WrestleMania main events than those two women out of ego. You could do that.
I mean,
You talk about what's left
but
to do.
To me, that's nothing. That's like, Nakamura claim to fame is that he's the only one to beat John Cena clean, and God knows how many years. Yeah, it's just like, come on, man. Listen, as long as
Everybody's got different motivations track for something.
You're right. But I know Sasha's motivation is not because she wants to be above everyone. Everybody keeps speculating that. She just wants to be. She wants to have a good career. She wants her matches to make sense. She wants her feuds to make sense. And she's like this speculation of her wanting to be this person who always goes over, I think is a bunch of bullshit. She's always been somebody who just wants things to go the flow of the way wrestling should go. And I don't blame her for that, which is probably why I do see her coming back to work. I don't want it, but I just say that's what I see. I see her going back to the WWE with Triple H and then working some shit out because it's no longer Vince. But that's besides the point. But as we end this show, we must, because this has just been all over the fucking place. And for somebody like myself, it hits a somewhat of a personal chord. The whole Kyrie Irving madness, bro. There's I don't know if you guys are aware, but Kyrie Irving watched a movie. And he let people know he watched the movie. That's it. Would you expected something behind that? No, that's it. All the nigga did was watch the documentary and let people know he watched the documentary. That's it. Now, this documentary it's called H2N. From Brews to News. It's a documentary that goes into the origins of who the original people that speak about in the Bible and Torah is. There are some things that are you can consider anti Torah, anti a certain community, and in the film. It's the film is not filled with that. The book, which I have not read, from what I'm being told, is filled with that. But the documentary, which I have seen, is not filled with that. There are 3 different parts that go into those tropes that say they run the world and they run the media. And one thing that was in that was a quote from a guy, Harold. Hold on, what was the guy's name?
Hey, Howard Washington.
It's what's this guy's name? Harold Wallace Rosenthal, where he makes this there's this quote where he talks about if we run this being Hollywood and the media and this, that, and the third. I don't know if that quote is true. I looked it up. I didn't see anything that's saying that quote was false. But that quote has been used to justify the to justify some bigotry towards a certain group of people. That quote has been used. And in the documentary, they have that quote. They don't go into it, but they just use that quote. They also say something about how the so-called chosen were running slave ships. That's not true. They didn't run slave ships. They don't control the media. They don't run slave ships. In the entertainment industry, on the other hand, I'll say nothing. I'll say nothing. All I'll just say is there ain't a lot of brothers running the Latinos and black people running the entertainment industry. But no, there is a lot of powerful influence. I will say
Byron
that.
Allen, what are you talking about? Byron Allen is running a network.
Yeah, and you see what they're doing to that nigga. Look up what's been going on with Byron Allen. Look up what that brother has been going. And it's not the J's that's been doing it. It's the W's that have been putting him through the shit. But no, in all seriousness, the documentary only goes into three different things. And the the slavery thing, the saying that the Jays run the slave ships, that's not even a trope. If you look up top 10 myths of slavery, the Jays running slave ships aren't even on that top 10. So that's not even a trope. It's inaccurate. It's wrong to say, but it's not a trope. They only use two tropes, and you can say, fine, that's bad enough. I'm not gonna sit here and say that. Again, it is not true. They don't run the media. They don't run Hollywood. Well, they don't run 100% of Hollywood, and they don't run all the corporations. Let's get into conspiracy shit real quick, Hugh, because I know you like to do that as well. When brothers try to tell me, oh, they run the world, they run the media, I go, Fox, CNN, NBC, the three major media networks are not run by Jays. Rupert Murdoch is not a Jay. He's not. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, Bill Gates, they're not Jays. The Jays are not running the world.
They're W's.
Let me, if you want to say they're W's, that's fine. They will never let brown people or anybody who's not of the white race run the world. They'll destroy it first. Okay? Understand that shit. They will destroy this planet before they let anybody who's not white run it. Okay? And I got into an argument with a friend who is of that faith and nationality because I said I believe that the original Jays do come out of Africa. That I do believe. I do believe that. And you cannot convert to a nationality. You can pick up the traditions, you can pick up the practices and all of that, which are done today. I don't get into all of that. But what I do get into is that the originals are from Africa, coming out of Africa. All that area before man's imaginary borders was Africa. And we can get all into this shit about the Mongoloids and the Negroids and the Caucasoids. But the bottom line is this. All Kyrie Irving did was watch a fucking documentary. And he just let us know he watched it. Did you see the first press conference, Q?
Well, in my choice of work, which I'm not going to say here to protect myself, yes, I know what Kyrie has been doing. I've seen most of the press conferences, and I am going to go with what you're saying, and it is that he just retweeted something that he found, which is funny enough. He didn't produce this movie. He didn't fund this movie. Like you said, he just watched this movie, and he just retweeted something that was on an Amazon link for years.
Hold on.
And Amazon.
All right, okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
And Amazon has been run by a W for many, many years. But nobody said anything to Amazon about why are you promoting this movie, which has supposedly a lot of hate towards a certain community and a certain group of people.
Which it doesn't, by the way, which it doesn't. Like I said, only 3 parts that could say were anti-vax, and it is wrong. You're hearing A-Track Brown tell you it is wrong.
Mhm.
All right? Go ahead.
And I'll say this when it comes to Kyrie Irving, they always say that freedom of speech, the First Amendment, we're protected by that, but there is consequences to that protection. But I'll say this for myself, and I'm only going for myself, Track. I don't follow Kyrie Irving on any social media platforms.
Me neither.
You know where I found out about this? Thank you, mainstream media. You're the one that perpetuated this. You made this, you amplified this as a big effing deal. I didn't know about it until I went to his Twitter to see, and I'm like, okay, he just promoted this. There's nothing different than Shaquille O'Neal, who owns movie theaters. He had nothing to do with
He
it.
played the movie in his theater, bro. The nigga made money off that shit.
But again, I'm not gonna say that Shaq is wrong, but maybe
But he's not. He's not. He's a businessman.
he's a businessman. He promoted he promoted a movie, and it was local. It wasn't like he promoted it everywhere that everybody knew about it. No one cared until the mainstream media wants to amplify something. Kyrie Irving's an example. Kanye West is an example.
Whoa. Okay.
It is. It is what it is.
Let me let them. I want to set the record straight. Kanye West and Kyrie Irving in this controversy, they ain't on the same page. They're not. Kanye's on some different shit. Kyrie is on some different shit. But these are not mutual. I see people doing that. Don't make that mistake, Q. Don't make these mutual. These are not. Kyrie is not even an eighth
You're right.
of what Kanye is on right now. Now, is Kyrie a nutty nigga? Yes. Kyrie is a nutty nigga. I have told y'all on this show before, even when the masked man was here. If I tell you 2 + 2 = 4, and you know it is, and you find out I go home and shove marbles up my ass, that doesn't discredit 2 + 2 = 4. So Kyrie is shoving marbles up his ass all damn day with his flat earth shit. All right? And his vaccine talk. But this, he's telling you 2 + 2 = 4. You could pick up a book and you could see, well, 2 + 2 does equal 4. So I suggest you do the same thing here in his concern about the origins of this. Because at least for me, this is what I took from the press conference. Here we go.
It's a title given to Christ, Philippians 2:11, and my name translates in the Hebrew language as Yahweh. So I went on to Amazon Prime. I was like, you know what? Let me see if there are any documentaries on Yahweh. So went in the search bar, typed in Yahweh. That came up. Went out and shared it on my platform. That was my night. In terms of the backlash or what people call it, we're in 2022. History is not supposed to be hidden from anybody. And I'm not a divisive person when it comes to religion. I embrace all walks of life. You see it on all my platforms. I talk to all races, all cultures, all religions. And my response would be, it's not about educating yourself on what Semitism is and what anti-Semitism is. It's really about learning the root words of where these come from and understanding that this is an African heritage that is also belonging to the people. Africa is in it, whether we want to dismiss it or not. So the claims of anti-Semitism and who are the original chosen people of God, and we go into these religious conversations, and it's a big no-no. I don't live my way like that. I don't live my life that way. Excuse me. I grew up in a melting pot, and I say a melting pot of all races: white, black, red, yellow, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and you can see the way I live my life now. I'm not here to be divisive, so they could push their agenda. I don't want to say they, because I'm not identifying any one group or race of people, but I'm in a unique position to have a level of influence on my community. And what I post does not mean that I support.
Now, from that cue, you're not a stupid person. You're a smart dude. And more importantly, you're a fucking reality person. So as a reality person, what did you hear him say there?
The truth.
Did he, if I'm not mistaken, did he say he embraces everything?
Races, creeds, religions, colors.
He said he has no issues with anybody. They asked him if he was anti-Semitic, Shemitic, whatever. He repeats what he said here. I respect all forms of life, all walks of life. And then they ask him again, what does that mean? Do you believe it? If you ask me, yo, Track, do you hate Ricans? I say, yo, Q, I love all people, man. All people. All people. Yeah, but do you hate Ricans? Yo, Q, I love all people, man. All people, bro. I love all people of all races. Yeah, but do you hate Ricans? I love all people of all races, motherfucker. What else do you want me to say? Now,
change it around. You be like, I love all people, and then you go on a 40-minute rant about Mark Anthony. Then I'll be like, yeah.
But that never even happened. He said, I love all people. But because he didn't answer the question the way they wanted him to, they put this label on him. He never said anything. He never said one thing that was divisive. But I got people in DM conversations. I got other people who I was cool with, respectfully, on Facebook, now coming at me, screaming, talking about I'm stupid because you heard it. You heard he didn't answer the question. I heard the man say he respects all forms of fucking life. Just because he didn't say the question the way you wanted to doesn't mean he didn't answer it. I'm not a mind reader. But judging off the way that Kyrie acts, I can only say the reason why he said it the way he said it is because he didn't want to say it the way you wanted him to. He's a defiant person. He's going to talk the way he wants to talk. But it all came down on him. It all crashed down on him. And he had to actually say the way you wanted him to say it. He lost a deal with Nike, even though the deal was about to be up, all because he just watched something. There were people who didn't see this documentary who were trying to make the documentary and the book the same. But it's made by the same person, so I could see how to you, if you're somebody of that group, you would say you don't give a damn. I get you. I get you. If David Duke writes some documentary and the documentary is more truthful than the book, it doesn't matter. David Duke made it. So I can actually understand your anger and that. But I'm just looking at this as the man explained it. He said, and to me, when he talked about the heritage, that seems to be the part that he was really concentrating on. It didn't seem like he didn't talk about the running the media and this, that, and the third.
He's concentrating on the origin part. The origin
story. Yeah, he's talking. Yeah, he's got. It's like I watch an Alex Jones documentary, right? If I see there's a bunch of bullshit, I can tell that there's a bunch of bullshit. But if he starts going into the Federal Reserve and the banks, I'm like, whoa. That's the shit that I started paying attention to. Because the fucking fact of the matter is the Federal Reserve ain't federal. So a nigga's shoving marbles up his ass, but he's still telling me 2 + 2 = 4. So Kyrie concentrated on a specific part and let people know that's what he concentrated on. And people just had an issue with that. I don't get it. The man never said he was against anybody. The man never said, oh, this part of the documentary where they spoke about, the Kanye West shit was true. He didn't say anything. Like, people said to me, well, how would you feel if Peyton Manning or whoever or some white athlete just tweeted a poster of Birth of a Nation? And I said to that person, my dog, how long you knew me? You've read posts. You converse with me. What do you think would have been my reaction if some white athlete was to tweet without saying anything a picture of the poster for Birth of a Nation? I wouldn't say shit. I would wait to see what they have to say unless it was somebody I knew who already had a reputation for being a racist asshole. Then I would. Kyrie never had that reputation. Not once was Kyrie ever accused, out of all the shit he was being accused of, not once was that man ever accused of being a bigot. But he watches this movie that says some crazy shit, and they attach that to him. So if Peyton Manning was to watch Birth of a Nation and tweeted it and didn't say anything, I don't know Peyton Manning to have a reputation for being a racist piece of shit. So I'll just wait. Then Peyton Manning says,
wait, Craig, let me flip it. What if it was your favorite, Hulk Hogan?
If Peyton Manning comes out and says, well, I just watched the movie. I did not agree with anything. I just, I embrace all forms of life. Peyton, do you hate black people? I have no issues with anybody. I love everyone. I watched the movie. I was disturbed by it. I have all love for all people. Yeah, but Peyton, do you hate black people? Nigga, he said all forms of people. He said he loves everybody. Shut the fuck up and move on. He already gave you his estimate. The only I wish Kyrie just would have said, here, can I be bold here? I don't think Kyrie got through the whole movie. I don't. That's why Kyrie never really addressed that particular part. I don't think he got that far into the movie. I think he saw the origin part and he fell asleep. I got a game tomorrow. Good night. I really believe that, yo. I really believe that nigga did not even watch the whole documentary, which is fine. But the book went to number one on Amazon.
It's funny you say that because we are, well, I don't want to say, well, I guess we can say we. This is just my own general thought. We are a clickbait generation, Track. We don't watch the whole thing. We don't watch a whole story.
Exactly.
We just watch
You'll see a thumbnail on Facebook and won't even click on it. You'll just read the thumbnail and that's it. The book went to number one on Amazon. I'd like to point out that if you sign up to Amazon, you get that Audible book for free. So that's probably one of the reasons. That's probably another reason why it went to number one, because people have been getting it for free. Also, it didn't go to number one because Kyrie tweeted it. He wasn't even talking about the book. He was talking about the documentary. But it went to number one because y'all made it number one. Like Hugh said, he had no idea about this shit till the media kept talking about it. And I see people posting this shit saying, oh, this is the same thing what Kanye did. No. The media kept talking about this. Even when the man said, I respect all walks of life, all races, creeds, religions, what have you, they still tried to brandish this man as an anti-whatever. And that shit is wrong. It is wrong to say that because he didn't answer the question the way you wanted to. And the Corey out there, like I said to you before, this ain't got nothing to do with niggas standing on the corner being angry and screaming at white people, which I told you I dismissed that shit. So if I was you, I watch my fucking mouth about who I was talking about doing what to who. All right? Because if there is a meetup and you're there, I will smack the living shit out of you. Believe me when I fucking say that. On the soul of my grandmother, I will pop your fucking ass in your fucking mouth. Watch the fuck who you talking to. That's a little personal shit right there. And we'll end the show at that. All right? Q, let them know where to find you, brother.
Well, damn, you call. I had a brain fart right now. Damn, went ether on that promo right there. But anyway, you can find me hosting the most nostalgic podcast out there on the PWR podcast, the Pro Wrestling Reflection podcast with myself and the Tommy Wonder on the PWHustle networks at podbeam.com. And of course, if A-Track uploads it, you can find it on the YouTube networks here weekly.
And yes, when I remember that I have to upload that to the Hustle page, I will hustle on right out and get that shit to you guys. I am sorry for that. I wanted to have the latest PWR of What If up on Friday. That was my fault. But Q should know. Talk. Y'all already know I'm always on the grind with this channel. Yes, but I'm always on my grind. Every day I'm hustling. Every day I'm hustling. Hustle. Every day I'm hustling.
If it ain't hustling, Tales of the Jedi. If it ain't Tales of the Jedi, it's The Walking Dead. If it ain't The Walking Dead, it's another show. I know you did the Jeffrey Dahmer reactions.
You know me, you got me and Lady G doing that shit. So you know I'm always trying to fucking get this channel popping. So my bad, Q, but I got your back. Y'all know y'all can find me here doing my reactions. You can find me on Twitter at 8trackbrown, the number 8 TRAC Brown. Corey, we still cool. Just watch your fucking mouth, bro. That's all I'm saying. Yo, you still my man. Don't worry about it. Yo, I'm I'm a little emotional right now. I ain't gonna lie, but just watch your fucking mouth, bro. That's all I'm saying. All right, and we will see you guys later for the next PW Hustle. Hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. Shout outs to all the hustleites out there. Shout outs to all the freaking people out there who are struggling, the working class people. I don't give a fuck what race you are. You're a working class person, and you're an honest person, and you're a true person, then Wakanda forever to you. All right? I'll see you guys later. Q, say it. Say, see you later, son.
Later, man. And Kanye and Kyrie, come on to the hustle. You can be a hustleite for life.
I don't want Kanye on my fucking show. I will go berserk. Peace, y'all.